bit sore around the noggin.
The giveaways, there was no remonstrating.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
anyone,
And so, just repeating the Albury Tiger player who was down, I didn't
McQuillan,
quite.
I
It is
reckon it is.
McQuillan, is
Yep.
it?
Yep.
It's the stretcher was called
James
immediately.
McQuillan.
Immediately from both. It was that concerning because he did not move. Play was halted for, as it turned out, over 30 minutes before an ambulance attended. He has been taken to the hospital. We have just heard from Albury Tigers' Gavin Schultz, predominantly for precautionary reasons, but it is a very serious incident.
Yeah, when I look back on the day I hurt myself, it seems like 3 or 4 years ago now. It feels like such a long time, even though it's 3 or 4 months I think it's been. I look back and it is weird to think that it's impacted my life so heavily and changed me so much, but I think it's changed me not for the worse. I'm going to make the most out of what I can do, and I mean everyone has their bad days and their rough thoughts, but I've been pretty positive the whole time. I grew up about 20 minutes out of Echuca on a dairy farm with 2 brothers, one older, one younger. The older one goes for Brisbane, so we're not a big fan of him, but the younger one's an Essendon supporter. So me and him used to sit down and watch the footy, and me dad's an Essendon supporter as well. Spent a lot of time running around after Dad in the tractor and kicking the footy and playing cricket with my brothers and getting my mates out to ride motorbikes and all that sort of stuff. I tried not to get in the shed as much as I could because I wasn't a big fan of getting covered in poo and wee, so I would spend a lot of time in the tractor driving around and around in the paddocks, which I thought was more interesting than getting shat on.
Joe and I come to the farm in 1988, both teachers, and we ended up with 3 boys. There's been some really good times with the family and over the journey. Farming's had its ups and downs, of course, through those 26 years, but on the whole, probably wouldn't trade too many people. Every day's sort of different, so yeah, some days it's just go, 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 and it's tiring this time of year though, sort of, you know, check the cows before you go to bed, hit the hay and then back up again at 6. James is always, you know, keen to drive the tractor and very reluctant to get into the dairy. And if you twist the other two's arm, they will get in the dairy, but yeah, it's got to be money change hands.
They were always really busy, and James in particular, you know, if he wasn't kicking the footy, he was hitting a cricket ball or having a hit of golf or mucking around in the shed. You know, he was a great one for a lot of woodwork and things like that. That was something that he really enjoyed. And the boys were often outside. You know, that's the joy of a farm. You know, it's just that there's plenty of space for them to get out and do what they wanted to do, you know. Not always, but a lot of the time, you know, there's just space, which is great.
James and his mates used to haul around this spot where we are now. Get the sled on the back of the bike and a rope, and they're that all the time. He used to come on the 2-wheel motorbike with me when he was like tiny. He'd sit on the front. Next minute the head would be nodding and he'd be asleep, so I'd get all the way over there and then I'd have to come all the way back to drop him off because he'd be asleep, so I couldn't get anything done when I got over there.
Right up. Hop, 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 hop.
Yeah, there's a few fun stories from my birthday parties because we used to ride around a track just outside the house on the motorbike, and we tied a sled to the back, and one of my mates was riding around the back of it, and we got to the end of the track back to where the tents were, and we looked back and there was no one on the sled. So when we were on the track again, there he was lying in the middle of the bloody track. He'd fallen off and hit a log, but he was okay, so it was all right.
Like a lot of country towns, footy is a focus. Footy was great because, you know, we met a lot of people. You know, before we had the boys, we used to come down and we used to watch Essendon, and then the boys came along, and then we got involved with the football club in Echuca, and Jack coached the under 14 and under 16 sides, and I was the secretary of the junior football club. For a while we loved it.
James started Well, he played for Echuca in the under 12, went right through, 14, 16s and started playing senior footy with Echuca. Played some pretty good footy. He's had a bit of ability.
We met a lot of people through footy, through Echuca, and then of course we started to follow Albury when James moved up there for his course.
So I moved up to Albury at the end of year 12 to study physio. I was lucky enough to get down up there, and I was really excited because physio is something I was pretty passionate about, and it definitely grew on me while I was up there. And changing footy clubs was a bit of a hard thing for me because I missed all my mates from Echuca, but ended up playing for the Albury Tigers, and they were a really good club and they looked after me and really made a lot of good friends there. I met Catherine at the end of year 12. She's a great girl. We both got into physio. It was just a coincidence, one of those funny things where you both just happen to have the same preferences and you both happen to get into the same course. So we were pretty lucky like that. We didn't have to work with distance relationships or anything, so we had a lot of fun in first year.
Catherine has been absolutely amazing, just a rock through this whole thing. She's a special girl.
The day I hurt myself was the 5th of April, so round 1, and I was in the senior side and I was pretty excited.
So it was a nice day. We were all up there, and it was we were excited. James had rung on the Monday to say he was in the seniors, so he was pretty pumped about that. And he thought, because he had decided that he'd give his football a bit of a go this year, so we had 2 focuses. One was his study and one was the footy. And we were just sitting there, and first quarter went all right.
About 7 minutes into the second quarter, I put my head over the footy to pick a ball up, and unfortunately ran into a opponent's leg and broke the body of C5 and vertebrae in the neck.
It was pretty difficult, and initially I thought he was concussed, and we both saw it. It's an image we'll take with us forever, I think.
I remember a fair bit of what happened afterwards. I don't remember the actual collision, but I remember going to the hospital and those scans said that I had a broken neck, and it was pretty frightening at the time. He had enough sense. Because he was conscious right from when he got hit. He had enough sense to say to people, "Don't touch me, let me be, I've hurt." He knew something wasn't wrong, and he was hoping, I think, that he might have just been stunned or something like that, but he had enough sense for people to not touch him. And I went to hold his hand. He said, "Don't hold my hand, don't, just leave me be for a minute."
Oh, it's pretty hard to talk about your own son,
I remember him asking me, "Where are my legs, Mum?" And I said, "Oh, they're straight out in front of you, mate." And I've since heard him talk about it, and he said, "I thought my legs were up underneath me." And he said, "As soon as I heard that, I knew I was in trouble."
Yeah, my parents have been unbelievable throughout this whole thing and throughout my whole life, really. They're pretty incredible. I couldn't ask for anything more. They've done so much for me and working really hard at the minute just to keep everything going. Dad's working hard on the farm to make sure that keeps ticking along well. Mum's down here making sure I'm fed and watered and as strong as I can be, because it's pretty tough on everyone who's close to me. But I think we're all going well, and yeah, it's going to be better soon.
You've only got to beat the Austin those first few weeks, and to see how hard he's working now.
People say, "Oh, he's fantastic, he must have got that from you and Jack," and we just laugh because we haven't felt that particularly strong through all this.
I mean, I've never really struggled too much mentally. I've always been really positive, and I mean, I've had a couple of bad days here and there where, it all gets a bit too hard and you just want to hide in a corner, but you can't do much about it now, so you just got to get stuck into it and keep plugging away and get the rehab out of the way. Just enjoy life again.
The things that he has had to relearn that we just take for granted. We get up in the morning, we get up, we have a shower, we get dressed, we have brekkie. It takes us half an hour maybe, you know. And James, it takes him, you know, somewhere between 2 and 3 hours. And he's had to relearn all of that. You could choose to curl up in the bed and go, I don't want any part of this. Or you can choose to go, well, this is the card I've been dealt. Let's see what hand I can make of it. And those are actually James's exact words. This is the card I've been dealt. Let's see what we can make of it. And, you know, how can we not be positive? How can we not toe that line when he's like that? It is incredible how hard he works. It's mind-blowing, learning how to transfer into a card. There's a month of rehab learning where to put your hands, when to shift your body, where to put your shoulders, where to move so that you don't end up on the ground. You know, it's really hard. And the fact that James can do car transfers at the minute is incredible. That's his determination to do that.
Growing up, we all went for Essendon in my family. Because 93 I was born when they won the flag, so I think it must have been a bit of a better barrack for Essendon because we won the flag that year.
Go, mate. How are you? Good, good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, no, they're a great bunch of blokes, that's for sure. When I come down today, they all just jumped in. Yeah, my name's so-and-so, and yeah, they just made me feel pretty welcome, and it was really good to watch them run around out there today. They moved the ball well, so it's good. It's good. I'm pretty excited to go to the footy tomorrow. Yeah, I spend a fair bit of time watching the footy still. Every week I'll sit down and make sure I'm watching the game. And yeah, a lot of people ask me if I still watch footy just because some people might think it might upset me or anything, but I remember I watched the Essendon game like the week after I got out of ICU. I sat up and watched the game of footy and people sort of looked at me funny. Thought it was a bit weird, but I mean, it didn't really faze me. I was just happy to be watching footy again.
I sort of thought perhaps we would never enjoy football again. I thought, how could we when it's been so awful? But James's accident was just a freak accident. He ran into someone. As James said himself, if it had just gone just like that, you know, we wouldn't be here, but he didn't. And I thought we wouldn't watch the footy. And I think the first couple of times it was hard, but it's fine now.
James Heard for you.
Oh. G'day, Hurdy. How you going? Yeah, good, thank you. What are you doing? I'm just watching you boys move the footy around pretty sharply, actually. Yeah, they are. No, most of them are walking around with their hands on their hips at the minute, I'm sorry to tell you. Yeah, righto, I'll get the word out. James Heard was my childhood hero growing up. I remember one game I saw he had a green mouthguard in, so I told Mum I had to get a green mouthguard because I wanted to be just like Hurdy. Sounds good, Hurdy. See ya, bye. How'd you go, mate? Flash kicks, mate.
Hey?
Flash kicks. Comfy?
I got black ones now, so it's really good.
They're pretty comfy, though.
What do you think of his bright yellow ones?
Don't mind them.
You don't mind them?
I just told you.
Oh, they just look comfortable, that's all.
I thought country bloke, you'd be conservative. And
Oh, no,
yeah, Larry.
Yeah, see, Judge.
Much
Papa
better.
Smurf.
Yeah.
Brendan Goddard has been in contact a couple of times, and we met him very early on in the Austin, and he was terrific. And you see these guys on the telly and you think, oh, you know, superstar footballers, and they're just blokes.
Boys looked all right there.
Yeah, they're okay. They look like they turned a bit of a corner, so. How long have you been like that?
5th of April.
What's that rehab centre out in the freeway?
Q, yeah, Royal Talbot.
Talbot, yeah.
Yep.
A few mates going there. Oh, it's been half my life out there on stage.
It's no good.
You're doing it the right way. You seem very positive.
Yeah, I can't do much about it, so you just got to get stuck in.
Yeah. Did you have a bit of a down period at all?
No, not really.
No, that's good.
Which was surprising.
One of my mates didn't either, and the psychs come in and tested him because they just couldn't believe he positive guy. And I was there the day he moved his toe, big toe on the right side. Just moved a bit. He said, "It's moving." I said, "No, it's not." "Oh, yeah, it is." Yeah. I'm moving it.
Well, actually, when I played for played Echuca footy, I played with Xavier Campbell, so we know each other pretty well, and he was there when I made my debut, so he was on the phone to my girlfriend quite early on, saying, "Oh, what can we do?" And yeah, they've just been really supportive. Yeah. Next thing's triceps to come.
Triceps, too bad.
Yeah, they're looking all right. Trust me.
It's never been that big, though.
I always check every morning. Just
You're like a celebrity now in the country.
Yeah, not as much as you.
You heard from Hurdy, called you when he was in Paris?
Yeah, he did. It was a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And Sue just gave me the phone before, and he was on the end of the line, so.
Oh, was he?
That was good. I didn't know what to say. I was a bit starstruck.
You're always welcome down here if you ever want to break up the monotony or anything else like that. If it does get like that, you're always welcome down here, mate.
That'd be good.
Did you meet a few of the boys?
Yeah, met a lot of them. It was real fun.
Yeah.
Nice bunch of boys.
They're great fellas. We've got a really good group of players.
Yeah. Do you ever get out on the track anymore?
No. I'm not moving. I'm not done a great deal of fitness this year either.
I know.
I'm a bit preoccupied.
I bet.
You know, we think we've done a good job with our kids, that they are, you know, strong and resilient, polite and good people, but until they're tested, you really don't know what they're made of, and this is, you know, these things test us. And, you know, James has come through with flying colours. He's just more determined and resilient and strong than we ever thought.
Hey mate, how are you?
Guys, 3 to come.
Hey Chappie, how you doing, buddy?
Just keep it really tight, really sharp. With your prep.
Thanks, how are you? Hey mate, how you doing?
Scrub up all right.
You know, James's plan is to live independently and not be reliant on people, because he wants me to be still his mum, not his nurse, and he wants Catherine, his girlfriend, to be his girlfriend, not his nurse as well.
You've got an eyelash here.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Look, to your right.
It's good luck.
Look to your right. But just got to keep working in physio to keep progressing, getting my transfers better, getting in and out of the car, on and off the couch, in and out of bed, and just making sure I'm safe with all of those, so when I go home I'm not going to fall onto the floor, because tell you what, it's probably hard to get up off the floor for when you get down there. So I've only got about 70 days left in the rehab centre, so after that I'm sort of on my own, so I've got to get as much out of it as I can at the minute, and that's why I'm really working hard.
There's also that thing about, you know, football people look after football people, I think too. I think that's that sense of community. But there's more to life than football. It is important, and I know it gives people a lot of pleasure, but, you know, from our point of view, if there are people who still think that football's the only thing that's important, then you need to have a bit of a think, I reckon.